Hi, you're watching The Buzz with Joe D of the Sacramento Bee. That's me. Glad to have you aboard. We're going to do this every week. Profiles, human interest stuff, rankings, fun, flavor, insight that you won't get anywhere else.
Here, I think I'm muted here. There we go. There's some technical issues. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm Joe Davidson of the Sacramento Bee. Good to be here with you. We are going to bring our good friend Cameron Salerno of the Sacramento Bee in here in a moment. There he is right there. See, if Cameron was hosting the show, it wouldn't be called The Buzz. It'd be the Hair with Cameron Salerno. Sponsored by all these hair products and all that. But Cameron, welcome aboard. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to, well, first of all, we invite our readers and we thank our readers and our subscribers for joining us. We're on social media every day, Cameron Salerno and I am, and Jim Patrick and others. And we have content every single day on sacbee.com, every sport imaginable, baseball rankings, softball rankings, football news and notes, what we learned about football, human interest stories, photo galleries. So give us a follow. We're worth a subscription. This allows us to do this. It's also a thanks to everybody doing this. What we're going to talk about today, some of the outgoing football coaches and why. We touched on that last week. There's been more coaches who have bowed out. We're going to get to know Jake Hall of Jesuit High School's inspirational story of courage and strength and resolve. We'll hit on baseball, softball, basketball, football, since it's always football around here. And first, Cameron, thanks for being online this week. Last week, it was like 10 minutes of chaos. So there you are.
We're here. I mean, that's a good thing. I at first you were muted and I couldn't hear you. And I was like, oh no, this is happening again. But we're all good.
Probably better for muted here and there. We just have hand moments and all that. So we're learning on the fly of all of this stuff at we got people like David and Kamario and Jim Silva who are saving our fannies here. So Cameron, let's get right into football. It's always football around here. We just finished the spring football season, and let's talk about some of the coaches who are coming and going. We've had it all week on sacbee.com. We'll have more this week because there's going to be more coaches who will bow out. But Eric Cavalier of Oak Ridge, there he is a fabulous shot by the Sacramento Bee. He has stepped down at Oak Ridge. I was a little surprised. I knew he was thinking about it. He just doesn't want to be a head coach anymore. It's that kind of grind. They want a big-time, big-name on-campus coach to join ranks up there in El Dorado Hills. He'll be within the program, so that's kind of a double whammy there. But big loss up there in El Dorado Hills, but going to have a big gain at some point.
Oh, exactly. I mean, it's a huge hire as far as like the potential hire that's going to be at Oak Ridge. I mean, that's an attractive option. You play in the SFL, you have great students, you have great athletes. I mean, you have a great program that Eric Cavalier already built. So when you hire a new coach, it's you're plugging that new coach in. I'm curious, Joe, who do you think it could be? I mean, there's names obviously.
I'll throw a name out there. That's what we do around here. Well, one name that's certainly going to be brought up for all the logical reasons is Casey Taylor of Del Oro roots, Capital Christian now at Intercom. This doesn't mean he's chasing a job. It doesn't mean that they're chasing him. There could be, we don't chase rumors or not, but we will get closer on that. But he's a logical choice because he went to school there and he started coaching there. Let's bounce around a little bit. Jeff Evans of Granite Bay football. You talk about a powerhouse program. He is out, and he is doing this by design as well. Cameron doesn't want to be a head coach right now. There's no parental pressure. There's no administration pressure. They want to get somebody in right away, and they brought somebody in right away. They brought in Joe Catalico. This was a design move to try to get there's Joe when he was coaching Sheldon. He was he built a program at Pleasant Grove, built a program at Sheldon, or elevated at Sheldon, went to Roseville High for a couple of seasons. And so now he's in at Granite Bay. This is a double wow because they get to keep both coaches and both of them on campus.
I agree with that. I mean, I have to start off by saying Jeff Evans is all class. I mean, he's the kind of coach where you can go to a practice, you can just talk to him about anything for about an hour. And that's what I did. I mean, I went to their practice before the season started. He pulled me aside. I really am thankful when coaches, just go up and talk to me and just take their time to take away from practice because they're getting ready for the season. And we talked about life, and I kind of brought up that, like, this could be it as far as, is this going to be it for you? And he said he didn't know. So, I mean, I know he feels content with stepping away right now, and they have a great hire in Joe, who's done good things at Roseville the last 2 years. He was a head coach last year, and then he was the assistant this spring. So it's a great hire, and good job
It
by
was,
the
it's a,
Unified.
sure. And this is what the elite programs do. Elk Grove did this in the late 90s. You get a Dave Hoskins in to join an Ed Lombardi, and you have a powerhouse program, and it's the Sierra Foothill League. And so there's a lot of things to chase there. So this is all really good. There's going to be more coaches stepping down. This coaching grind is hard. Well, it's only high school, yeah, but they pour everything into it. Mike Strubing of Vista Del Lago is also out. And Mike, there he was. I saw him before the season and did some great work over 8 seasons. He just feels burned out. He wants to take a season off. It's too bad, Cameron, there isn't some kind of clause in coaching contracts that you can take a season off. Football, basketball, baseball, softball. These coaches care. They pour themselves into it. And then the better the program is, there seems to be the more pressure, not so much from administration. Parents are always putting pressure on, but a lot of it's self-induced because they want to be great. So he did some great work this year. That's going to be an interesting job, maybe just for 1 year, or Coach Strubing may find out, I don't want to do this anymore. I think I'll just take a break. I've got a young family and I'm a teacher and my wife's a teacher. Maybe I'll just throw it all down. And
then another job that's open is the Yuba City job that just opened up last week. I mean, that's an intriguing job as well. I mean, I wrote a whole story after they beat Roseville. They're Yuba tough. They're grinders in the trenches, and they love to hit. They fly around on defense. So that's also an attractive job because the CVC going forward could be wide open, especially if Casey hypothetically leaves Intercom, which
right. And the CVC is the Capital Valley Conference, good programs there, and Yuba City is a community-based program. So we did a story over the weekend in the Sacramento Bee on 5 things we learned from this high school spring season. There's a terrific shot by our good friend Javier of the Kennedy Cougars, who overcame the loss of a beloved player and stayed in it, and they went 3-1. The one thing that I really want to touch on here, Cameron, is you've talked to people, I've talked to people. The thing that really bogged down spring football was the COVID testing. We understand why you have to do the COVID testing, but there's got to be something more on the equal balance field, so that way schools in Placer County are playing 6 games and those in Elk Grove are playing 1 or 2. So I'm looking ahead to the fall. Let's hope that all the COVID numbers are down. Let's hope everybody's back on campus and no more testing. Otherwise, we're going to have this kind of chaos of scheduling and canceled games right into the fall. And that's a big reason why some of these coaches said, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not a chemist. I'm not a scientist and a counselor and all that. So let's hope for more normalcy going ahead for sure.
Yeah, and the testing was it was an unequal playing field because you had teams who were able to test again if they had a positive test or even multiple positive tests and kind of sort that out. And that was primarily in Placer County. And that's why a lot of teams were able to play 5-6 games, but down in Sacramento and Elk Grove, some teams were only able to get in 2-3 games, even 1.
Or 1. Elk Grove had 1. Granite had 2. Yeah.
And it was the playing field was unequal. So I just hope going forward in the spring, or not in the spring, but in the fall, it will be equal and they'll have equal opportunity because let's hope that in the fall everything is somewhat.
I hear you. And what it is you have different school districts and principals and athletic directors and coaches interpreting the same state guidelines differently than the county or the league next to them. So we hope that's better. The other thing we touched on in that story is small ball rocks. I saw Carson Lowry the other night. Here's the Winners Warriors in rural Yolo County. Daniel Ward's the coach, an alumni coach there. This is such a cool little town, Cameron, that the mothers of players wear their son's Letterman's jacket. Daniel Ward, the coach, his mother still wears his Letterman's jacket. And so Carson Lowry is a terrific player. He's a 3-year starter, played every single down. We have a poll right now on SacBee.com. I think 15 to 19 guys on our poll. Yeah, and Cameron and I put together who's our player of the year. So go vote. You can vote as many times as you want. We just wanted to throw a shout out to the small school balls, Bear River, Sutter, East Nicholas, Winners. All those schools just play a terrific brand of ball, no matter what size they are. But I like watching small school ball. And so we capped the season the other night at Winners. And this is how cool it was, Cameron. So Winter High School hosted the Pierce Bears of Arbuckle up Highway 5. And Pierce was not able to host a homecoming because of COVID scheduling. That's what COVID's done. So the Winters Warriors said, do it here. And so they were able to have their homecoming royalty. And Betsy Myers, a senior for Pierce, won. So that's class and sportsmanship right on down to small school levels. That's actually setting the example of how to do it.
Yeah, no, it's just awesome that they were able to do that. And I know Pierce's principal is a great guy, someone I've gotten to know over the years. So it's
And his
it's
name is
awesome.
Mr. Vujovic, right?
Yep. And I
Yes.
covered his son at Granite Bay. Great guy and just wonderful family.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's switch completely to baseball. We're going to touch on baseball and softball and basketball and more football here. But Cameron, I know you do the weekly baseball rankings and and just news and notes. And here's our baseball rankings here on the left, our softball rankings here on the right. Softball is done by Pete DeFore, a good friend up in Placer County. Cameron, give us Ponderosa, I'm going to see them today. They have one guy who's worthy of note, a couple of them, but who are those ace pitchers for them?
Well, they got Ty Uber, who's going to Stanford, who's an MLB prospect, and they have Tyler Stewart, who's going to Sacramento State, who's also a stud pitcher. I have to add, though, the person who did the rankings before me recently just won a distinguished award with the Sac Wilkins section. So I'm lucky I'm able to take over and do these rankings.
I love it. I appreciate that. The Sac Wilkins section, the CIF, flattered me by giving me a distinguished service award, which means I've been around a long time. And Cameron, you're the younger version. I've done baseball rankings here for some 30 years. So now you get the whole thing there. This is only a top 10. The full top 25 is online, sagby.com. Cameron has weekly rankings. And let's Laguna Creek 10-1. I think you saw their loss, the Cardinals. This is the legit program that's having its best season in a long time. Yeah,
they lost to Vista Del Lago, and Vista Del Lago looked good, and then Placer came around and beat them again on Saturday. I know you were at that game, relaxing and enjoying the good weather in Auburn at night
at James Field. And we saw a no-hitter, my friend. It was Miles Myers headed to Sacramento State, throws a no-hitter, and he's got a brother who's going to Santa Clara. Yeah. And
you can vote for both of them in our Sac Bee Boy poll, Prep of the Week poll. And I know we're running a girls poll as well that is has a lot of votes so far.
Yeah, and real quick, let's touch on softball. Our number one team is Rockland, still a powerhouse. Sheldon, I've seen Sheldon. Del Oro or Jim Patrick has seen Del Oro. Elk Grove, I saw Elk Grove. They've got a terrific pitching staff under Coach Amanda Buck. Vanden is unbeaten, has a big win over Sheldon. I saw St. Francis this season. They have twins, Grace and Hope Jenkins. They're juniors. They're going to UConn. Cameron, we wouldn't even be able to foul off a pitch with some of these power pitchers. So baseball's big around here. Softball's big around here. Full rankings on SacB.com. We go to 20 or 25. And so we appreciate that. And one last thing about Ponderosa baseball, highest they've ever been ranked since the school opened in 1963. So that's going a long ways. It's just they've had a couple teams that have been to the section finals, but nothing.
Won it last time in Division 3.
Yes, that's exactly right. So good to see there. So let's shift over to basketball. Basketball is here. I went to a Sheldon basketball practice last night. They're actually in. Oh, there's a little teaser right there. Well, they're in the gym. Sac City Unified is not back in the gym yet. That includes McClatchy. I saw the McClatchy girls practice on the blacktop last week, Cameron. So they're just trying to get in plays. Placer County has games already started, so we're getting there surely. And we've got a big story this week, Cameron and I do, on best players to look for, rankings, preseason news and notes, and what's going on with testing, who's doing it. Looks like everybody's going to do it once or twice a week, try to play at least twice a week. That's what the Delta League teams are going to do. So no playoffs. We'll touch on that later in this this spring on one of these shows, but hoops is back.
Joe, I have to add, the girls' basketball talent here in Sacramento is getting better and better and better. This city, I mean, I've said to you before, this city deserves a professional women's team. There's enough talent. There's enough interest in this area. I mean, the incoming talent is incredible. So you have Harper Peterson, who's a freshman at Whitney, who I'll be checking out tonight. I'm going to Whitney versus Oak Ridge. She's got offered by Arizona, who played in the national championship game and lost to Stanford. And then you're
talking about a freshman. So in girls basketball, we'll see this common over the years is you'll have these 4-year anchors because they're ready to play. And you'll see it more and more with the boys. But the girls programs for the 30 years I've been doing this have often had a freshman who becomes a sophomore, junior, senior. They become 4-year anchors. And then you just build your program around them.
Well, there's another girl who's coming in who's going to be a freshman next year at Folsom High School, Ava Rawlings, who just got offered by Cal last night, who's been a pretty good program in the Pac-12. I was texting with someone who I really respect in the basketball world, and he told me that Ava could be the next Paige Buchers at UConn, the one that just won the National Player of the Year. So that's a pretty good comparison. And
It is. It is. And when we talk about four-year starters, now we can put the graphic up. We're going to talk about our big reveal. Every week we want to do a big reveal. So we're going to do something that's not too stunning. But our leading player of the year candidate going into this season for girls basketball is Janiah Harrell. She's a four-year starter. She's going to Stanford. She's a 4.6 GPA. She wants to get into law. She's fascinated about being maybe a judge. And then also there's that's a little a clip of somebody else who's going to Stanford. But so Janiah Harrell is big time. You've seen her, and here she is. And look, some of these videos here, Cameron. But just comment on her. She's inside, outside. She's versatile.
She's incredible. She's the best women's basketball player I've ever covered, at least in this area. I mean, she just does everything well. I know her coach Sean Chambers raves about her. I mean, it's like you said, it's more common now that we see four-year starters in the program, but it's rare we see four-year starters who have made an impact since they stepped onto the campus. So it's amazing to watch, and she's gonna be a really fun player to watch at Stanford.
Yes, and another one. So our boys player of the year leading candidate ending the season is someone else you all know well, in this area knows well, Issa Silva of Jesuit. He's also going to Stanford. So these two kids, Cameron, aren't just terrific basketball players. They're incredible scholars. And here's some video. Look at that between the legs. And so this is a guy who's pretty entertaining, and he wants to be great. So does Janiah.
Yeah, and I mean, when's the last time we had so many kids going to Stanford in athletics? We have Ari Potsu at Folsom, who already enrolled at Stanford, which he was one of the first early enrollees in Stanford's history, which is insane. I think he was one of two. They're testing it. You have obviously Ty Uber's going to Stanford. You have Janiah's going to Stanford. You have Issa's going to Stanford. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. When Stanford comes knocking, you listen. I know also Folsom's top receiver, Rico Flores just got offered by Stanford. So,
and it's hard to get into that school. No, it really is. Let's get back to football.
Yeah,
exactly. Let's get back to football really quick, Cameron. And when we talk about high school sports, so much of the storylines are the inspirational kids and, the guys who are terrific scholars. And that's Jake Hall, a Jesuit, and wrote a big story about him the other day. And he is inspired by his father, Justin Hall, who took his life by suicide a few years ago because of repeated blows to the head, concussions. And Jake Hall, a senior, gave up football at the end of this season. We saw that game. His shoulders are just surgically repaired and battered. And so he's bowing out on his own terms. He's a 4.3, 4.4 GPA. And he talks about playing in honor of his father and dealing with mental health and those things. It's a powerful listen. Here is Jake Hall of Jesuit High School.
I've had a total of 15 dislocations. And so I got my second surgery on my left shoulder in January of last year, and I did 6 months of rehab, and all that rehab through COVID. So it was kind of two difficulties at one time. Getting to my senior year, I felt really, really good once again, and just kind of waiting for the season to start. Played the first 2 games, I believe, and then get into Christian Brothers. It was late in the third quarter, and I was trying to tackle the running back. I had my arm outstretched, and it was caught in a position where only the force was acting on my shoulder. And as I went to the ground, I felt it pop out, so it had to rip through 6 or 7 titanium anchors, and it just shifted through all of them, and I could just feel the pain, and it was just the worst pain I've ever felt. So I was laying there screaming in pain, and my mind was just a blur. It was just racing, and the paramedics were surrounding me. There's trainers, and then Coach Blanton runs out there, and I've kind of been there for, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes is what it seems like, and I'm still screaming, and Coach Blanton just comes up to me, and he just kind of grabs my head, and he looks in my eyes, and he goes, "It's okay." He just tells me, "It's okay." And at that moment, we kind of shared a very special moment. And I'm going to remember that moment for a very long time. Everything kind of just went peaceful, and my mind was at rest. And the screaming came from all the pain that I've kind of been through the past couple of years. With my dad passing and being on that field without him, it's really difficult. Every time I step on that field, I'm thinking of him. And so part of the screaming was that. Part of that screaming was I knew when I went down I was not going to be able to play next year. I had plans to go play in college at Carleton, and with that shoulder injury again, I knew that my body was telling me it was time to hang the cleats up.
Number 29, Jake Hall. His mother, Jennifer.
So we're sitting here on a bench dedicated to my dad. My best friend, Ronan Brothers, built this over the summer for his Eagle Scout project. He spent a very long time on it, and it felt really, really good to have my dad be memorialized this way on a campus that he called his home for 20 plus years. My dad was a teacher and a coach here at Jesuit. He also led immersions in Kairos, and his favorite thing about this school is just the kids and the community. He really wanted to make an impact on kids' lives, and he really did. So he was my JV coach my freshman year, and that was a really special season. I ended up winning MVP at the end of it, and then by near the end of the season, he was suffering from stage 3 CTE, so it was a brain disease that was really affecting his mental health and his emotional balance, and in late November he took his own life. Right after Thanksgiving. Right before that, we'd gone on a Thanksgiving trip. We went camping for a week, and he texted my basketball coach, Coach Fleming, who we were both really close with. He texted him and said, please just hold Jake accountable this year and make sure you take care of him. And Coach Fleming told me later on that my dad probably knew something that the rest of us didn't. My little brother, who's not so little, he's actually 6'4", 210, so he's a big dude. He kind of resembles my dad a lot. Same humor, same build. It's just so it's really special to have Caleb in my life, and we all had a really special bond. So, and actually, Caleb is wearing number 73, which was my dad's number in college. So he's going to be wearing that for the next 4 years here at Jesuit, and I think that's a really special tribute. A couple years ago, when my dad passed, the team made these bracelets that have my dad's name and number on them, and most of the seniors here today are wearing his bracelet, and so that's another really special tradition that we have here. Football's been everything my entire life for my family. It has taught me countless lessons in life. If you open yourself up to the game of football, to the coaches, to the players, your teammates, the trainers, everyone, you're going to receive a lot. You're going to learn stuff on the field that you can't teach anywhere else. You can't come into the classroom and learn that kind of leadership and mental toughness. You can't learn that anywhere else. Football is a very special sport.
Wow, that's Jake Hall. We applaud you, young sir. You were courageous. You were strong. He's going to Cal Poly. He's going to do just fine. May stay in football as a coach or something, but his body's given up. So we appreciate him. You know, on the topic of inspiration, Anthony Griggsby is a terrific quarterback at Casunas Oaks High School in Elk Grove Unified School District, and he plays in honor of his sister, who is ailing and is battling some health issues. And we caught up to Anthony Griggsby and asked him about what makes him so fun and why he's so motivated to play well.
Well, for me, playing quarterback is just something I've just been doing my whole life, honestly. I've been playing quarterback since I was about 3 years old. And it's just fun to know that everybody relies on you. If you play good, the team plays good. If you play bad, the team plays bad. So it's kind of just a different spotlight when you're back there. For me, I've always been able to handle the pressure. I've had pressure since I was a kid. So it's just been normal for me. So for me to be able to be here now and still be able to enjoy that pressure is really, really fun. Well, my sister's name is Marilyn Cowan Griggsby, and she's honestly been battling cancer. We didn't know, but she's been battling it since she was about my age now. And recently, in the past, I think, year or two, we realized that it's getting pretty bad. So last year around this time, the doctor told us that we have about 6 months with her, 6 to 8 months. And thankfully, she's still alive. So it's been about a year and a month maybe since we've heard that news. So she's a fighter, and I know she's a fighter. She's a Griggsby, so she's been putting in the work. She's done as much as possible to stay here as long as possible. And me and my family, we've all tried to help her as much as possible. In the community, Stockton community, the Sacramento community, the Elk Grove community have all been helping us with our fundraisers to get her anything she needs. And it's just it's good to know that she had a long 30 years of her life, but it's still bad to know that she still could have lived a lot longer. So, but right now we're just trying to make sure everything's good and that she's just as comfortable as possible. So, and she's having as good of a time as possible. So, we're taking her on trips. We plan on going to Tahoe in about a week or two, and she's been to Hawaii a bunch of times in this past few months, Mexico a bunch of times, and it's been good. It's been fun. Yeah, she definitely is. I've talked to her a lot. I've talked to her a lot recently about just like me and just me just playing sports and how I am, because when I was younger, we weren't as close because there's a big age gap. So she's 31, I believe, and I'm 18 now. So it's a big age gap. So as I got older, though, we've started to get closer, and since now, she's really become really a fan of what I do.
What is
he is inspirational, and he's fun to watch. He'll play somewhere in college, hopefully at quarterback, so we'll keep an eye on him. And we have one more, football. It's always football around here. We're big on quarterbacks. This is the Nixon family at Sheldon High School in Elk Grove Unified. You have Coach Chris Nixon, who's ball boys when he was the head coach at Sheldon, or at Elk Grove years earlier, where his sons, Sean and Scott, and now Sean and Scott are all Metro type of guys. So we caught up with them again with Javier, our photographer friend. And here's a quick peek at the Nixons.
Extremely fun. We obviously for about 4 or 5 months there, we didn't even think it would end up happening because, we didn't think we'd have a season in. I just thought it was fun to come out here and practice with, obviously my dad and my brother and, obviously the rest of the guys too. So I wasn't even taking practice for granted because that's all I thought that we'd get. And then I remember that Friday they announced the season, I was just ecstatic because I knew this day would come, last Friday would come, next Friday would come. We get it's 3 games in, and also the practices, and it's special, and it's something I'll remember for the rest of my life.
It's we've been throwing around in the front yard for as long as I can remember. So just having the chance to do it in a real game with especially my dad as a coach, we've just been talking about it forever, and now we finally get to do it. It's a lot of fun.
Well, so obviously 4.0 is something that it's not necessarily easy to do, and obviously it takes a lot of hard work, but I think that's something that football has taught me, and also something that school has taught me about football is that you have to work hard and nothing's gonna be given to you, and the more fun you have with it, the better you'll do, and I think that's really helped me be a good student, and obviously it helps having 2 parents as teachers, but yeah, I think it goes hand in hand, and I think that's why a lot of people, they really wanted football season to happen, because they know the life lessons that football teaches you, whether it's in the classroom or with a friend or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I just think that the two go hand in hand as long as you work hard and you know what the goal is.
It's a lot of work at first, but you get used to it because it's so worth it when you come out here and play football. It just makes all the time worth it that you spend in the classroom, and obviously that's important, but just the ability to come out here with your teammates afterwards and just have fun, it just makes everything worth it.
Yeah, it's been fun coaching. Scott and Sean played a little bit together in youth football, and then kind of broke apart because they're 2 years apart, and Scott came and competed on varsity, earned a starting spot, and couldn't have been happier for him, and brothers kind of shown him the way. They, every opportunity they get, they work out together, best of friends. Sometimes their harshest critics are each other, but they're also, extremely proud of what one another does out on the football field, in the classroom, or whatever it may be. I think, having been that kid and played for my dad at Nevada Union, had a little bit of experience with that, and got to see how a dad coaches his son. And, it was one of the greatest experiences of my life to play for my dad. We didn't win every game, but it was just a pleasure and exciting to have been a part of that experience with him. And hopefully these guys, and I know these guys are, much the same. They've been, high school ball boys for years up through the ranks, and now they finally get a chance to put 3 games together, which they didn't realize they would have but a month ago, right? And they're taking advantage of every second.
I've known you guys since you were little. I think we could be honest with each other. That might be the most atrocious beard I've ever seen. Can you explain your beard growth? What's going on there? The origin?
All right, so I got a haircut in January, and it was trimmed. It looked nice. And then they announced the season was coming back, and so I said I don't want to go to the barber shop and get COVID or risk getting COVID. So I said I'll suck it up. I'll let it grow. I won't look my best, but I'm not going to risk getting COVID. The next day the season ends, I will be getting it trimmed. I'll be getting a haircut, and I'll be back to my normal look.
Those guys are hilarious. Saw them grow up as ball boys. They're terrific students, good players that made their dad proud. And Cameron, we got to blow out of here. And you know what? We're always breaking news. You just found out now. You just texted me. Give us a quick hit on what you just learnned, as we're always going to keep people updated on what's going on in the show.
We have breaking news out of Sacramento County. Reggie Harris has stepped down as Antelope head football coach per a source. So that's pretty significant news, and I definitely know we'll follow up on it.
Yeah, and he was a first-year coach. He coached for 12 years at Grant, spent a few years back east. This is a surprising news, so we'll jump on that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to do this every week right here. Follow us every day on SacBee.com, also on social media. We're going to go out and get to know people, bring them into your environment. We appreciate the following, Cameron. I appreciate you. Until next week, thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, everybody.